Hello everyone, this is Professor Ray Gary, and in this lecture I want to talk about the process of communications and how that is undertaken in marketing. There's 3 chapters in the book, 15, 16, 17, that all discuss communications. The syllabus says to read 15 and 16, but really if you read just the first part of 15 and then read the interactive and word of mouth section of chapter 17. That's the most important stuff. I'm not going to go through managing the communication process. The book talks about where you have a sender and you have a message, you have a receiver, and you have encoding and decoding and feedback and noise and all this stuff. You can read about that. I'm not going to talk about that. I just want to talk about some of the most important points, and especially this AIDA model, which directs directly to what you guys are doing in MarkStrat. So I'm going to talk about that for a few minutes, and I'm actually going to get into talking about internet or interactive communications, because this is a very huge part of marketing nowadays, and so it's good to understand that. I figured that'd be better than just reading slides that are devoted to these 3 chapters. You guys can read the book. So anyways, so the AIDA model you see here, the acronym stands for awareness, interest, desire, and action. And it's this idea that for consumers, starting with a blank slate for consumers, you have to first make them aware of a product, then you have to generate some sort of interest in the product, then you have to create some sort of desire to buy the product, and then finally actions, where you persuade them to actually go out and purchase the product. So you can take any example. We'll start with some sort of food product. Let's say there's a new type of candy bar. Okay, so candy bar is brand new, no one's ever heard of it. First thing that firms do is they have to make the market aware of this candy bar. So what do? They advertise. They send out all kinds of different types of advertising, be it on the internet, TV, radio, newspaper, outdoor advertising, just to create this initial awareness of a product. Clearly, if a consumer isn't aware of your product, they're never going to buy the product. So it's kind of the first step in kind of getting through the funnel to action. Okay. So once you've created awareness, then what you want to do is you want to create some sort of interest. So what you could do here is even more advertising. Maybe that's targeted more towards the purchase itself. You might be able to do sampling. You might have representatives go to supermarkets and hand out free samples. There's lots of things you can do to kind of get consumers to the interest level. And then desire level, you're getting them closer to purchase, basically pretty much the same as interest, sampling and coupons, those types of things to kind of spur people to go to the store and buy the product. And if they ultimately buy the product, we've gotten them to action. They've actually gone out and purchased our product. Okay, so this little graphic of this funnel it's called the sales funnel. It basically comes from the personal selling literature, and this idea that you need to make everyone aware, and you acknowledge that fewer are going to be interested, even fewer than that are going to desire it, and even fewer than that are going to come out the bottom in terms of a sale. Okay, so in terms of MarkStrat, if you look at the different reports, the different market research tools in there, you will see there's one page that has, I think it's consumer research and panel, I think. You've got brand awareness, you've got purchase intentions, you have market share. So brand awareness clearly applies to or relates to awareness here. The more your brands are, the more your target markets are aware of the brands, the greater the chance they're going to buy it. Okay, and then interest and desire are pretty much linked to the purchase intentions little screen. So you've got them aware. We can glean from the purchase intention screen, well, do they actually want to purchase this particular type of product? So we're getting them closer to the end. And then market share relates to action. These are the people that have actually gone out and purchased the product. Okay, so that's the AIDA model. Again, it's just the idea that you got to make people interested, and then from there I'm sorry, you got to make people aware, and from there you get them then interested, and then they have some sort of desire, and then they go and actually buy the product. Okay? So those of you in sales understand this, but it relates to the communication process in general. Okay? All right, that's from chapter 15. That's all I'm really going to say about chapter 15. Again, read through it, the whole thing, but you don't really have to focus on it too much. Again, I just wanted to kind of go over some contemporary relevant stuff. So I'm going to switch now completely to chapter 15. Chapter 17, the section on interactive marketing and word of mouth. You know, the chapter talks about websites as a way to market. We know this. Search ads, display ads, email, mobile marketing. We know all this stuff, but I want to kind of dig a little bit deeper into what's going on with consumers in terms of the use of the internet. And quite basically, what it all boils down to is the internet is a source of information. It's a place where consumers can go online and find information. They can research products. You can research companies, you can research individuals, you can research politicians, you can research pretty much anything you want on the internet now, okay? So it allows consumers to be more knowledgeable, have more information, gives them a little bit of power when they go into or get into a buying situation, okay? So a big thing about the internet is it's a source of information. It's also a big source of information for firms. So firms can understand their market better. They can communicate with consumers in a much more efficient way. So first and foremost, the internet is certainly a source of information, without question. Okay? Something the internet gives us is allows us to provide personalized marketing. When I say personalized marketing, what I mean is we're able to tailor a particular message specifically to an individual. So we know exactly what their profile is, who they are, where they live, what they want, what they bought in the past, things like that. We can create some sort of marketing that is tailored directly to them. So they see that and they say, wow, they really know what I want. You know, that's pretty cool. Good example is if you shop on Amazon, you might get some ads that, or not some ads, but some product recommendations based on what you've purchased in the past and also what other people that have bought this particular product have also bought. So they're kind of whittling away all the information and stuff that is not relevant to you and just leaving the information that is the most important to you. So it allows them to be much more efficient. And that's this target on the right side. And contrast that with the target on the left side, which is basically mass marketing, where you send out one message to an entire market, and boom, you throw something up against the wall, you hope it sticks. Yeah, it might work for some, but it's not going to work for a lot. So you're just kind of hoping upon hoping that you're going to hit that target, and generally you don't. Technology allows us to be personalized. I'm sure you all have subscriptions to targeted email marketing from your favorite stores, your favorite brands, your favorite products. So you get a lot of detailed, very personal, very detailed emails that are tailored to you. So that's a good example of personalized marketing, and the internet allows that to happen. Social media. Most of us engage in social media. So I want to spend some time talking about this. When I mention social media, what I'm talking about are social networks, blogs, and online communities. So technology has allowed us as individuals to access an enormous network of individuals, and this is a social network. So social network as a term does apply to Facebook and Twitter, for example, but generally a social network is just a network of individuals where you can communicate and converse and share information. Okay, so the idea here with social media is that people have access to information, both sending and receiving, that without technology, without the internet, we would never have. Okay, so consumers can go out and talk about their terrible experience with McDonald's, for example. Oh, I had the worst service. I had the worst Big Mac I've ever had in my life. I'm going to Burger King next time. They send that out. People see that, and one or two might say, well, yeah, I've had that same happen. I'm not going back to McDonald's ever again. So we have created influence for us as consumers through this use of these social networks. Now, before the internet, before technology, I mean, you could complain about McDonald's, but it would be much more difficult to reach a very large audience in a short period of time. Okay, so we do this through Twitter, we do this through Facebook, we do this through text messaging. So we have all these different ways where we can reach out and tell others about what's going on. So, you know, if you're a marketer, this can be troublesome. But what if they're talking positively about your firm? Then it's a blessing. It's like, hey, McDonald's is great. They've just redesigned it. They've got internet access. It's kind of a Starbucks type feel to it now. You should check it out. People are going to say, oh, really? I never heard of that. I'm going to go check that out now. So, you know, it works in both ways. So blogs, some people have, you know, blogs that they talk about their lives and write about things, and sometimes they're dedicated to themselves, sometimes they're dedicated to a particular product, you know, some product they have a strong relationship with. So again, those blogs are accessible by, you know, millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people with internet access. So it allows information to be shared quickly. And then online communities. These are communities of people that have some similar thing in common, and they meet in this community and online and through forums and things, and share information, trade stories, and kind of build camaraderie. So a good example is the iPhone Blogger Network. It's a website where people actually go and talk about their iPhones and meet other people, and just really allows them to embrace the iPhone and the iPhone culture in a much greater way. So again, this is a type of social media. It's a way where information is spread. So as you might be putting the pieces together, the problem with social media is that yeah, these consumers can go out and say whatever they want. I'll talk about pitfalls here in just a minute, but this idea that consumers can easily spread information about a firm or about a product can be a little bit disconcerting for firms. Okay. Viral marketing. Viral marketing is just a legitimate attempt, an officially firm-sponsored attempt to influence a social network. Okay, so the firm will send out a tweet, or they'll send out a blog post, or they'll send out some sort of information that will be related to their products, obviously speaking positively of themselves, and that will then be transferred from one node, as we can say, in the network to another. So one person sees this message from a firm, they tell two of their friends, and each of those friends tell two of their friends. All of a sudden, you've got a viral message. You've got a message that's been sent around the world in a very, very, very short period of time. Okay, so again, the idea is for firms to take advantage of this social network, to take advantage of the viralness of marketing communications, and use it to their advantage. Clearly, sometimes it might not work, but you know, the goal is for it to work. So if you create this positive viral message, the beauty of this is it's very cheap. You let the consumers, you let the market work for you, which I think is a beautiful thing, if it's done correctly and if the message is a positive one. So that's viral marketing. I want to give some examples of viral marketing efforts using the social network. This is Nike. Top left is their official Twitter page. They send out tweets all the time, numerous ones a day about products, about new products. So you look at this top one. Actually, the top two there, these products have sold out. So they're informing the market that these two products are no longer available. So what does that do? It's going to create some sort of buzz, some sort of hype. So people are going to start wondering when they're going to have a new shipment in. So it allows firms to get this information out there quickly and cheaply. Okay, and the third tweet they have there is about a new product that's available at the Nike store. Come down and get it. Check it out. Here it is. You know, and invariably in a few days it might have sold out too. So they're going to put that information up there, and that's going to spread through the network as well. Okay, bottom right we have a Facebook status update from one of Nike's many Facebook pages. This is their skateboarding division Facebook page, and it talks about them partnering with this organization in LA to promote skateboarding and art and invariably Nike products. Okay, so people that like this page, they press like, and that goes out, and all of their friends see that they liked it, and they may go check it out. People make comments. The comments are seen on other people's pages. So again, it just spreads out like wildfire. It's truly like a virus. You know, it's very viral. It just moves very quickly. Okay, so again, these are legitimate attempts by Nike to influence the social network, and again, it's called viral marketing. Okay, what are some of the problems, though? You know, it sounds like viral marketing. It sounds like you know, using the internet to sell products is a pretty cool thing. Pretty quick and easy, pretty cheap. Yeah, it certainly is. But we can say there are some pitfalls as well. You know, first of all, it reduces information asymmetry. So you've got all these consumers that know less about the products than the sellers do, which generally works in the seller's favor. But now with the internet, we can go to a million places and get as much information we want about the product, about how other consumers have liked it, about prices, about different places you can buy it. So consumers have much more power now and have a greater variety of choices. So it's good for consumers, bad for firms, clearly. But that's just the way it is. Clearly, the internet allows for more competition. So we know from economics that the more competition there is, the lower prices go. So that's good for, that's certainly good for consumers, because you can get a product at a better price. You could probably even get a better product at a better price because the sellers are fighting for you. Okay, so again, you know, you want a new TV. Do you go to Best Buy and go to Sears and go to wherever else to look at TVs? No, the first thing you do is you go online and you see who has what, and you look at prices and you do those sorts of things. So right there, Best Buy has all this competition. And what's happened, what's really killed Best Buy and what literally killed Circuit City is this notion that consumers are using those companies, these brick and mortar stores, if you will, as a showroom. So they do all this research online. They say, well, I think I like this TV and that TV. I'm going to go down to Best Buy and just see how they look. So you go down and you play with the remote and you check out the resolution and the graphics. Then what do? Do you buy the TV from Best Buy? Maybe, but oftentimes not. You go home, you have the model number, you buy it from the place that has the best price and the best delivery and place that gave you the best feeling. So that's certainly bad for Best Buy, because this increased competition is driving them out of the marketplace. They're being viewed as a showroom and not as a place where you actually buy stuff, and that can be a problem. Okay. And then finally, the last pitfall of the internet and marketing efforts is you lose this control of information. Okay, so if people send out messages virally through Twitter, through Facebook, it doesn't matter if what they're saying is true or not. It's out there. Someone says, oh, I hate McDonald's, they're terrible, they're the worst. That information is going to be received by consumers regardless of if it's actually true or not. You know, maybe they had some service done in their car, and before too long the car is back to running the way it was, you know, poorly. Well, maybe it's something to do with the driving habits of the consumer. It's something that just will never ever be fixed. They're going to be mad. They're going to blame the garage. They're going to send out these negative messages. Well, in reality, it was really the consumer's fault and not the serviceman or the garage's fault. So it's a big problem. This lack of control of information is very, very disconcerting. It's a big problem. So what a lot of firms do is they actually go out and they have people that they've hired to actually monitor social network. And every time they see an instance of their name being referenced, if it's positive word of mouth, they'll say thank you for your support, something along those lines. If it's negative word of mouth, they generally can do two things. They can refute it, saying, well, this is not the case, there's something else going on. Or they can fix the situation. Someone had a problem with something or another, they send out a tweet, all of a sudden the company is calling you saying, hey, let's fix this problem, I'm sorry there's a problem, because they don't want this negative publicity to grow. So they're going to fix your problem, so you quit putting out these negative tweets, and hopefully you'll put out positive tweets saying, hey, McDonald's got a hold of me within like 30 minutes and they've already fixed my problem, so it's really great. Give McDonald's another chance. Okay, so that actually happens. Firms are actually doing that now. It's really a big thing. So again, they're just trying to control information that's being said about your firm and about your brands, because if information is negative, it can greatly harm you and your company. So anyways, that's all I'm really going to say about communications. Again, there's a lot of information in those 3 chapters, but again, you can read it. It's awfully generic. So I just wanted to give you some stuff that's more relevant to what's going on today. So take a look, listen to it. Well, I guess you've already listened to it. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. All right.